SaaS companies live and die by their metrics. LTV to CAC, revenue retention, that's the big one. Honestly, I always say revenue retention for a SaaS company, that metric's kind of like snowflakes. You ask 5 different companies how they calculate it and what it is, it's going to be a completely different answer for each one. The standard rule of thumb is net revenue retention is how much revenue you have retained. That means if you were generating $100,000 a month in revenue from this month last year, from those customers, how much monthly revenue are you still generating? Companies do all kinds of things, like they'll include new customers, they'll remove churns, it's really creative, or they'll look on a monthly basis. It gets really creative on how they look at it, and the challenge has been a lot of VCs haven't really dug in too deeply on it because things were going so well for so long. And as long as revenue is generally going up and they have a path to profitability, though they might not be there yet, not a lot of people have asked questions because there hasn't really been a problem yet. The problem comes when you go to raise money from an outside party. When it comes to private credit, when it comes to true growth equity, these guys will ask these questions. We've seen it time and time again. We've had companies come to us and say, we're at a 92% annual net revenue retention. And it's just not true. You dig in, you reformat the data for what the market will actually be looking at. We've seen companies drop down to the high 60s before. And that's actually a problem for a lot of lenders because that just means you have to sell that much harder and that you have fewer levers to pull to manage your cash in an off-plan scenario, which most companies do run into from time to time. So what I always recommend is whether it is a contract CFO, whether it is your CFO, whether it is an advisor of some way, shape, or form, a prospective investor, whatever it might be, understand how the market, not you, understand how the market is looking at your metrics. What do they focus on? What do they want to see? It's kind of like knowing your customer. You don't give them what you think they need. You really want to listen to what they are asking for. Same thing goes for the market for capital. Know your metrics, know what they are going to want to see.